Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakta Bhavati Nashtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Vashatade Shatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gautase Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Too much bass in the sound? Something is a little awkward. All right, Hare Krishna, welcome everyone for today's Bhagavad Life or Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are on the fourth canto, chapter number 24. Going to continue our discussion from text number 20. So far what we have discussed, we had raised three questions while discussing this verses. Anyone remembers what were those three questions? Yes, Neeraj Prabhu.
So first question was like why Vijitasma let go Indra even after his mistake. Second question was father of Pacheta wants
So first question was, why did Vijitashva
let go
Indra? When he realized he's Indra, the culprit is Indra, he let go. And what was the answer?
it.
Pass on. Somebody else should give answer. Anyone online would like to reflect? What did you discuss? Why did Vijitashva? And then later on, by the blessing of Indra, he became Antardhan. Indra was a culprit. Indra came in disguise and he stole the sacrificial horse and disturbed the yajna, which is a big, big, big crime. Capital punishment was due. Yajna is not for the king's welfare, but yajna was done for the welfare of everyone. And somebody is coming and disturbing an activity which is welfare for everyone. So how big a crime begins? So what was the lesson? Why did yes, Sanatan?
So, in short, I understood it was giving benefit of doubt considering the position of Indra. Because such great personality, if he's doing something which is not seemingly right, then there could be something. So before taking action, we
Yeah,
should
this is not
consider.
benefit of doubt. We never discuss that. Benefit of doubt is a basic principle we should give in every relationship. Just considering the position. Indra. Indra is the king of all devatas. He is the head deity, which is appointed by the Lord or Brahma himself. Considering such a respectable position and the role, when Vijitashva saw Indra doing that, he followed the principle, a higher principle. When great souls do a mistake, then a common man should not find complaints with it. In this chapter only we saw Vijitashva's son was Havirdhan and he had sons, and those sons were born as a result of curse of Vashishta Muni. So generally the sages will give a curse because, just like Mother Devaki had 6 sons who were killed by Kamsa, and they were all cursed. Why? Because they had mocked or laughed at Brahma. So that's the point. So principle was, this is a principle, and what is an applicability for all of us? We should be careful when it comes to great souls, great personalities, not only within ISKCON. Don't have that narrow-mindedness, even from the world outside, from different paramparas. Don't become so mature or assume oneself to be so mature and so senior that we start criticizing other great Vaishnavas, who you may find him to be so-called Mayavadi, etc., etc. We have to take this. I'm referring to other leaders who are there in other movements. We should not do that. In fact, Srila Prabhupada would often criticize his godbrothers. Prabhupada had a role, playing a role at Madhyama to bring about the discrimination. So he would warn his students not to associate closely with his godbrothers. So for that reason, he would sometimes criticize his godbrothers. Yet Srila Prabhupada was equally warned, I can do it, you cannot. Don't dare to find faults with my godbrothers. They're very advanced devotees. Is that making sense? So, we have many personalities. If in case for the sake of, you are sitting down with your students, and then for the sake of bringing discrimination, you're making a point. Be very careful what language you're using still. But apart from that forum, you have no right. And that's the reason I made the point quoting His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj and Maharaj. These are things that you should write it down and remember. Otherwise, we unnecessarily cause trouble to our bhakti because of unrestricted speech. How many of you agree have unrestricted speech? हम कुछ भी कभी भी कुछ भी बोलते रहते हैं. Unrestricted speech because of unrestricted mind. You can't control your mind. So what will you control your speech? Criticism of the mistake of the great soul is taken more seriously by the Lord than the mistake committed by the great soul. Criticism of the great soul is taken more seriously by the Lord than the mistake committed by the great soul. We should be careful. Don't think that Falana Likhana Brahmachari said something, so I can also say or pass any comment. Okay, that was the first question. What was the second question?
Second question was like father of Parcheta wants get them married, like their son, but he asked to do tapasya. So why he asked to do austerity and worship
So
Lord
second
Vishnu?
question we reflected and we saw was Prachetas, Antadan, Havidan, and then Bharishad, Prachani Bharishad. He had sons by the name of Prachetas. When it was time for them to get married, he asked his sons to go and perform tapasya and worship Lord Vishnu. So what is the connection of tapasya and marriage? So that was a question. We discussed that also. What's an answer? Okay, Vishwajit Prabhu. So idea is tapasya is purification. So what happens with purification? है मतलब प्यूरिफिकेशन बोले आगे तो बोल यार मेन चीज वरुण ब्रो प्यूरिफिकेशन मतलब क्या है व्हाई प्यूरिफिकेशन
So that when they get into the actual like grastashram and or their future life, they don't get swayed away by all the temptations and
that's a
attractions.
consequence. What does
Yes.
purification do?
So purification, purify the mind and the senses. Yes.
Purification of what? You're
Purification
cleaning the table of what? Your purification mind and senses of what?
of the impurities and the
Like what?
anarthas.
Like what? Primarily lust.
Lust. Yeah.
That is what you're saying, the consequence, na?
Yes.
So they will not get swayed away. Swayed away by calm,
Correct.
lust. Be precise, so we're clear what we're learning here. Okay, then the third question, which I believe we're supposed to answer today.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, third question.
So Lord Shiva's darshan is also very rare. So why he gave darshan to Parchatyas?
Yeah. So Lord Shiva's darshan is very rare, and why did he give darshan to Prachetas is what we're going to discuss. 20th verse onwards. Let's recite 20th verse. Sa samudram upavistirnam apashyan sumahatsarah mahan mana eva savacham prasanna salilasayam sa samudram upavistirnam loudly apashyan sumahatsarah mahan mana eva savacham prasanna salilasayam sa samudram upavistirnam अपश्यन् सुमहत्सरः महन्मनायैव सवच्छम् प्रसन्नाशलिलाशयम्. Translation and purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Somebody can have the mic and read the translation, please.
While traveling, the Prachetas happened to see a great reservoir of water, which seemed almost as big as the ocean. The water of this lake was so calm and quiet that it seemed like the mind of a great soul, and its inhabitants, the aquatics, sorry, like the mind of a great soul, and its inhabitants, the aquatics, appeared very peaceful and happy to be under the protection of such a watery reservoir.
So I believe I gave 2 or 3 reasons before concluding the class last time. Why did Lord Shiva appear to Prachetas? Anyone you had written out? Yeah. Haribol.
So first reason was like Lord Shiva inspired by Lord Vishnu to bestow.
Yeah. So first reason was like how did Nad Muni ended up finding Dhruva Maharaj in the forest, or Mragari the hunter, of all the place. I mean, तुम हिंजेवाड़ी में भी किसी को ढूंढने निकल जाओगे, हिंजेवाड़ी भी बड़ा है, फिर ये सृष्टि की तो बात ही क्या करनी. Why Nad Muni ends up at a perfect time and a perfect place? He could have met Dhruva Maharaj. If he had to meet Dhruva Maharaj, he could have met Dhruva Maharaj when he was, fighting to rise up the lap of his father. But no, he met when Dhruva Maharaj was going in search of the Lord, inspired by Paramatma. So in Nectar of Instruction, I believe the third or the fourth verse, maybe among the first 1 or 2 verses, Prabhupada mentions famous shloka. He quotes, "It is Krishna by whose mercy you find Guru, and it is by Guru's mercy you find Krishna." That's the principle. So what is actual meaning here is when a devotee or when a practitioner becomes sincere, then first thing he gets is the mercy of the Lord. Lord is within the heart. That Paramatma manifests as Chaitya Guru. And he brings the right teacher in the life of that sincere practitioner. By getting in touch with that devotee, now this practitioner can actually practice bhakti, by which he can attain Krishna. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yachasmi tatvataha. So what does the Guru gives the student? Guru gives the student bhakti. And by the mercy of bhakti and the process of bhakti, the disciple attains Krishna. This is the whole process. So it begins and it depends entirely on the mercy of the Lord and mercy of devotees. By mercy of the Lord, devotee comes into the life. By mercy of the devotee, bhakti enters into the life. By the mercy of the Bhakti Devi, the devotee progresses in bhakti so that finally he may attain the Lord. That's the whole process about it. Okay, that's the first point. What else we discussed?
And as you told that Paramatma is inspired because they accept the order of
Yeah.
their father.
Now, why did Paramatma inspired Lord Shiva to appear there? Now, why Lord Shiva? Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. So, generally, Narad Muni would enter the pages of Bhagavatam like this. But this time, Lord Shiva came. Maybe just to make a point, Lord Shiva is also the best of the devotees, whatever it is. I'm just speculating on that. That's not mentioned here. Our Acharya's commentary. So, coming to the point, now, why was Lord pleased? Why was Lord pleased? Lord was pleased because Prachetas, no agitation, no complaint, no grudge, wholeheartedly accepted. I just want you to think for a second, they're the sons of the king. How much opulence, comfort, convenience they would have had in their life. Perfect room temperature at all times. And best of the foods, best of the clothes, best of the comfort. And suddenly one fine day father said, चलो बाहर निकल जाओ. निकलो महल से बाहर. जाओ जंगल में तपस्या करके आओ. Those who would not have walked barefoot, अब तपस्या करते हो तो ना वो रथ से जाएंगे और 4 सेवक खड़े होंगे पंखा हिलाते उनके सामने. मेरे प्रभु को गर्मी लगी, मच्छर ने काटा. So how many find this is difficult? अरे ये क्या है? When they were living such a comfortable life and suddenly go out and perform tapasya. I mean, there's no mention that they ask question, what is the reason, you know, I already have a girlfriend. I don't need to search for a spouse. Why? So that's the reason they accepted. So the principle is when we become, it's a whole life's mission statement. For example, Prabhupada, why vasayatmika buddhir ekha kurunandana? That was his inspiration. Ekha kurunandana, one pointed to what? Guru's instruction. Wholeheartedly following Guru's instruction, the order. And then mercy naturally follows. Again, I'm saying it's a life's mission statement for all of us to aspire to come to that situation where we can wholeheartedly. So, because the Prachetas wholeheartedly followed the father's instruction, which was to go in the forest, perform tapasya, and worship Lord Vishnu gets pleased. This is what sincerity means. At the, on the side of the disciple, student to follow sincerely, not to worry about the outcome, but to follow. Outcome jo hoga, so hoga. And that's how they get. Yeah, that's the second point. And third point we discussed also, right?
Yeah, devotees are very dear to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is very dear to
Yeah,
Lord.
that I will explain now. Okay, so third point from text number 20. Why did Lord Shiva appear? Because he saw the greatness of Prachetas. So Prabhupada mentioned the purport. Prachetas were free from bhukti mukti siddhi kami. They had no mental agitation. It's not that they were going to the forest to perform tapasya and yet they were discussing with themselves, क्या पिताजी ने गलत किया, इतनी जल्दी नौजवान एज में हमें जंगल में भेज दिया, कोई रीजनिंग नहीं दी, no nothing, no discussion. So the mind was completely peaceful. And just like Prabhupada was on a morning walk at the beach, and then Prabhupada asked the disciples, what was the point he said? He pointed at the ocean and he said, what do you learn when you see the ocean? And his disciples were confused. And Prabhupada said, see, on the surface there could be waves, but the ocean is known for its depth. Similarly, Vaishnavas, they're very deep. So the deeper you go inside the ocean becomes calm. Similarly, Vaishnavas are calm. They are not agitated. Agitation. Text number 1, NOI Upadeshamrita. Bhakti Siddhanta Sri Thakur's commentary, Anuvriti, describes agitation of minds. One is called as Avirodha Priti. Avirodha Priti, Priti means attraction. Virod means repulsion. Avirod means unrestricted attachment. Just like somebody having attachment for wealth. Things like that. Avirodha Priti. We all have our desires, not desires, our attachments. And then Virodha Yukta Krodha. That's the second term Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur used. Virodha Yukta Krodha, which means frustration that arises when you don't get what you wanted to get. Imagine you have been aiming to get a promotion or you're expecting a hike. When it doesn't come, we become frustrated. So we were disturbed because we were attached and Because we didn't get what we wanted, then we become frustrated. So life goes all through agitated. Are you getting the point? Let's say you're preparing for IIT exam. You're very attached to the idea that I want to get into IIT, for example. So your whole focus would be not IIT engineering college, whatever, best engineering college. Your whole focus would be on that. You really can't do anything else. And then when you write an exam, you don't get an IIT seat. Then you remain frustrated. That is called as avirodha priti and virodha yukta krodha. Like that. In case of Prachetas, they didn't have any of it. So that's the point being made here. The water of this lake was so calm and quiet that it seemed like the mind of a great soul and its habitants. That's the point, and Prabhupada explains this point in the purport. All right, let's move forward. Text number 21, translation. Next devotee. Where's the mic?
In that great lake, there were different types of lotus flowers. Some of them were bluish and some of them were red. Some of them grew at night, some in the day, and some like the Indvara lotus flower in the evening. Combined together, the lotus flower filled the lake so full that the lake appeared to be a great mine of such flowers. Consequently, on the shores there were swans and cranes, chakravakas, karnadavas, and other beautiful water birds standing
So these
about.
verses are describing the beauty of the lake where they went to perform tapasya. Text number 22, continue please.
There were various trees and the creepers on all sides of the lake, and there were mad, mad bumblebees humming all about them. The trees appeared to be very jolly due to the sweet humming of the bumblebees and the saffron which was contained in the lotus flowers and was being thrown into the air. This all created such an atmosphere that it appeared as though a festival were taking place there.
Papa, that's a beautiful puppet. Trees and creepers are also different types of living beings. When bumblebees come upon trees and creepers to collect honey, certainly such plants becomes very happy. On such an occasion, the wind also takes advantage of the situation by throwing pollen or saffron contained in the lotus flowers. All this combined with the sweet vibration created by the swans and the calm of the water. Vachetas consider such a place to be like a continuous festival. From this description, it appears that the Prachetas reached Shivalok, which is supposed to be situated near the Himalaya mountain. We'll get to see Pratibimb of this in our Himalayan Yatra. We're going to two new places for trekking. One, I mean, of course, literally Shivalok, that is Kerala, um, Tunganath. We'll be going for a trek in Tunganath. That's the highest Lord Shiva temple. There's a 6 kilometer track and there's said to be a pond. हम जाके तब पढ़ेंगे इसको वैसा लगता है नहीं लगता है all right, continue. Text number 23.
The sons of the king became very much amazed when they heard vibrations from various drums and kettle drums, along with other orderly musical sounds pleasing to the ear.
So as I was saying in the previous class while concluding it, so when they reached by this lake, there was nobody around, and suddenly they began to hear beautiful musical sound of beautiful musical instruments. And to their surprise, they were looking around everywhere. Where the sound is coming from? There's nobody seemed to be. And from that lake manifested, or just like walking out from the lake, was Lord Shiva and his entourage. Beautiful sight. Next verses, please.
The Prachetas were fortunate to see Lord Shiva, the chief of the demigods, emerging from the water with his associates. His bodily luster was just like molten gold, his throat was bluish, and he had 3 eyes which looked very mercifully upon his devotees. He was accompanied by many musicians who were glorifying him. As soon as the Prachetas saw Lord Shiva, they immediately offered their obeisances in great amazement and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord.
Papada is in the puppet. In pictures, Lord Shiva is generally painted white, but here we find that the color of his skin is not exactly white, but like molten gold, a glowing yellowish color. Okay, text number 26.
Lord Shiva became very pleased with the Prachetas because generally Lord Shiva is the protector of pious persons and persons of gentle behavior. Being very much pleased with the princes, he began to speak as follows.
So, next reason. Why did Lord Shiva appeared to Prachetas even though when they did not call for him? They had come to worship Lord Vishnu. They did not even call for them. That another reason is Lord Shiva was very pleased by the qualities of Prachetas, and being Ashutosh, who's easily pleased, and himself being Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, a great or the greatest devotee of the Lord, when he saw the sincere souls who have come to perform tapasya to please Lord Vishnu, so he had natural affection for Prachetas and he appeared to them to offer his blessings. And here is a very important part, which Lord Shiva will say later on in this chapter, is one of the longest chapter. My question to all of you, could Prachetas, if Lord Shiva would not have appeared, could Prachetas, only on the strength of their austerities, achieved the blessings of Lord Vishnu? Could Prachetas, on the strength of their austerities, could they have attracted the mercy of Lord Vishnu and darshan of Lord Vishnu? Yes or no? Or third option, we don't know. I know that's also possible. So, huh?
Without the blessings of Vaishnava, you cannot achieve the blessings of Shiva, Vishnu. But on the other hand, you also know that because they were so sincere,
Yeah,
God would
but
have
the principle is you cannot, if Lord Shiva's darshan is rare, rarest is Lord Vishnu's darshan. Lord Vishnu darshan cannot happen unless the person have. Now, why would Lord Vishnu darshan will happen? What attracts Lord Vishnu? Tapasya?
devotion.
Bhakti. But how does a devotee catch bhakti? So this is a point in principle. This has been mentioned here by Lord Shiva. Then Uddhav Gita again, 11th canto, Lord speaks entirely a dedicated chapter. You can only attain my blessings or mercy when you practice bhakti. Then the question is, how do I practice bhakti? You can only practice bhakti when? By the mercy of the devotee. So the devotional life or the goal or the end goal of meeting Krishna begins only by the mercy of Vaishnava. Therefore, Lord Shiva appeared because they were sincere, so he wanted to give his blessings to them. Just like Nagmani appeared to Dhruv Maharaj. And I already clarified, Lord Shiva was inspired by Lord Vishnu. That's the point. Text number 26. We already read that, right? So Lord Shiva became very pleased with Prachetas because generally Lord Shiva is a protector of pious persons. Okay, fine. That's a point Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. So the idea is Devatas become pleased with the devotees even before they begin to serve the Lord. Just because they have thought in their mind that we'll worship the Lord, Devatas becomes immediately pleased. So all that fear that how would Devata react and respond, no. Devatas become immediately pleased when they see somebody taking to the service of the Lord. Text number 27 translation.
Lord Shiva said, "You are all the sons of King Prachinabhari, and I will
Now,
wish and I wish all good fortune to you. I also know what you are going to do, and therefore I am visible to you just to show my mercy upon you."
so now come to the third question. That was why did Lord Shiva give his darshan? That is clear. And what was the other question? It was about the love of devotees. So every Vaishnava by default is a devotee of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva by default loves all the Vaishnavas. And I said, I will prove this point like this. So let's take a look. First of all, about Krishna's devotees are the best devotees of Lord Shiva. That's the point we are making here. So this whole idea that, Hare Krishna Valas don't have respect for Lord Shiva. In fact, Prabhupada says Krishna's devotees are the best devotees of Lord Shiva. So please don't have that. हाँ, हम केवल कृष्ण के सामने ही सिर झुकाते हैं, किसी अन्य देवता के सामने नहीं. ऐसा thought process नहीं रखिएगा. We're supposed to bless you to the Lord Shiva also. Why? First, Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. He's also one of the Mahajans. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro. उसके बाद जो चलता है. Second reason why devotees are the best devotees of Lord Shiva. What is so special Lord Shiva? Lord Shiva already has his own Vaishnava Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya. Second reason. Third, on the Lord's orders, he appeared as Shankaracharya to teach impersonalism. Yet his final instruction was Bhaj Govindam. This for clarity, you know. So third reason why we have greatest respect for Lord Shiva, although he appeared as Shankaracharya, but yet Shankaracharya's conclusive instruction was Bhaj Govindam. Then fourth is Lord Shiva is the best of the devotees. So therefore, all devotees of Lord Krishna are also devotees of Lord Shiva. Fifth, in Vrindavan, there is Lord Shiva's temple called Gopishwara. Why? Because even gopis used to worship Lord Shiva. For what? So that they can get Krishna. So devotees can approach Lord Shiva with a prayer. So when we go to Lord Shiva's temple, what do we pray? We pray so that we can get bhakti for Krishna. And who can give bhakti for Krishna? Devotee. And who is the best devotee? Lord Shiva. These are the 5 reasons. Okay. This is from the purport which is going to come ahead. I just wanted to come up, conclude this discussion here. And we'll see that in text number 30. Okay. All right. So these are some of the reasons why devotees of the Lord are the best devotees of Lord Shiva. Text number 27, we read. Lord Shiva said, "You are all the sons of King Prachanibhari, and I wish all good fortune to you. I also know that you are going to do, and therefore I am visible to you just to show my mercy upon you." थोड़ा दरवाजा खोलिए. Okay, text number 28. Somebody read translation.
Lord Shiva continued, any person who is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the controller of everything, material, nature, as well as the living entity, is actually very dear to me.
Yeah, so here in this context, we're making a point. When those who try to worship Lord Krishna, the demigods by itself become very kind and loving to such individuals. We don't have to separately worship devtas like this. Okay, text number 29, translation, please.
A person who executes his occupational duty properly for 100 births becomes qualified to occupy the post of Brahma. And if he becomes more qualified, he can approach Lord Shiva. A person who is directly surrendered to Lord Krishna or Vishnu in unalloyed devotional service is immediately promoted to the spiritual planets. Lord Shiva and other demigods attain these planets after the destruction of this material world.
Yeah, Prabhupada writes about the evolutionary process in the purport. That's not exactly with my theme, so I'm skipping. Anyways, I have to give overview. Let's text number 30. You are all devotees of the Lord, and as such, I appreciate that you are as respectable as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. I know in this way that the devotees also respect me, and that I am dear to them. This point I've already clarified. Lord Krishna's devotees are the best devotees of Lord Shiva. It's only at the Kanishta stage where people make this discrimination between the Lord and Devata, particularly Lord Shiva. Thus, no one can be as dear to the devotees as I am. Prabhupada writes in the purport, devotee of Lord Krishna does not disrespect Lord Shiva, but worship Lord Shiva as the most exalted devotee of Lord Krishna. What he prays, just like gopis prayed to Lord Shiva, please give us bhakti to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so from this text, important statement Lord Shiva has made, which makes it clear, as the commentary says, that Lord Shiva, in general, loves devotees. But out of courtesy and because he has that service to render, he gives his mercy to the asuras only for the sake of formality. But actually, he loves devotees because asuras go because he's been given that service as Rudra. That's the point. And then Lord Shiva spoke with respect and affection to Prachetas. All right. Text number 31. So now the prayers of Lord Shiva will begin. So he's now going to offer a mantra to Prachetas. So next one or two verses very important. So let's pay attention. Text number 31. Now I shall chant one mantra. Who is reading? आप लोग कर क्या रहे हो फिर?
Now I shall chant one mantra, which is not only transcendental, pure, and auspicious, but is the base prayer for anyone who is aspiring to attain the ultimate goal of life. When I chant this mantra, please hear it carefully and attentively.
Next.
The great sage Maitreya continued, out of his causeless mercy, the exalted personality Lord Shiva, a great devotee of Lord Narayan, continued to speak to the king's sons, who were standing with
The
folded
great
hands.
devotee of Lord Narayan. थोड़ा जोर से बोला करो. I hardly hear you. I continue to speak to the king's son who was standing with folded hands. Prabhupada writes in the puppet. Somebody read the puppet.
Purport. Lord Shiva voluntarily came to bless the sons of king as well as do something beneficial for them. He personally chanted the mantra so that the mantra would be more powerful. And he advised that the mantra be chanted by king's son, Rajputras. When a mantra
Point
is
to be
chan-
noted now. Go ahead.
When a mantra is chanted by a great devotee, the mantra becomes more powerful. Although the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is powerful in itself, a disciple upon initiation receives the mantra from his spiritual master. For when the mantra is chanted by the spiritual master, it becomes more powerful. Lord Shiva advised the sons of the king to hear him attentively, for inattentive hearing is offensive.
So two things, chant and hear attentively. Another thing is when the mantra is received from a bona fide person or from an advanced soul, mantra becomes more powerful. What does it mean? First of all, I do see Prabhupada using the word Hare Krishna mantra, but traditionally what acharyas would say, is Hare Krishna a mantra or a naam? So how acharyas have described, Hare Krishna is not a mantra. Hare Krishna is a naam, which means it is potent in itself. It doesn't require anything. When you talk about mantra, then comes diksha, because you receive mantra at the time of diksha, and that refers to Gayatri mantras, or different mantras that we have at the time of diksha, what we call today technically as second initiation. I'm explaining the traditions, how traditionally it has been. So Hare Krishna has been traditionally addressed as Naam. Is all Naam? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Like that. That's the whole idea about it. Okay. So, which means somebody takes to the chanting of Gayatri Mantra will not be potent unless he has received from a bona fide Guru. So, there are these recordings of Gayatri Mantra. People chant, मेरा मन शांत हो जाता है. वो तो यार जंगल के पशु की आवाज़ सुन के भी शांत हो जाता है. That is not the objective Gayatri Mantra. Now, if that's the case, अरे मेरे इनिशिएशन नहीं हुआ है तो फिर मैं 16 माला क्यों करूँ अभी? आप 16 माला करते रहो, आपका प्रोसेस शुरू हो चुका है. डोंट वेट फॉर इनिशिएशन. कैन यू चैंट गायत्री मंत्र बिफोर इनिशिएशन? So now this will lead to an argument. If this is how we take it, this will lead to an argument. Then why am I chanting Hare Krishna right now if I'm not getting initiation? Because that is not doing anything. No, that's not the point. It's a now. Therefore, if you see, the tradition is from the day when we encourage everyone to chant the holy names. But we don't ask anyone to chant Gayatri Mantra. That is only once you receive from Guru. Okay? Text number 33. Now Lord Shiva begins to speak. So, First, okay, let's look at this way. So text number 33 to text number 43, Lord Shiva will offer obeisances to Chaturvyuha, Vasudev, Anirudh, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and to the super soul. First offering obeisances, saying that you are the supreme, omnipotent, omniscient, Lord. I offer my humble obeisances to you. After offering his prayers like that, then he will make a prayer for having darshan of the Lord, and then having opportunity for rendering devotional service. Like this, the flow of the prayers continues. So let's take a look. Translation, text number 33.
Lord Shiva addresses the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the following prayer: O Supreme Personality of Godhead, all glories into you. You are the most exhausted of all self-realized souls. Since you are always auspicious for the self-realized, I wish that you be auspicious for me. You are worshipable by virtue of the all perfect instructions you give. You are the super soul. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you as the supreme living being.
Prabhupada in the initial few lines. As soon as the devotee is inspired by the Lord to offer the Lord a prayer, the devotee immediately glorifies the Lord in the beginning by saying, all glories unto you, my Lord, like this. So here, this prayer is directed to Vasudev. This is a little complicated topic. How Vasudev, Anirudh, and Krishna, Pradyumna, so this Chaturvya are manifesting in this creation. So this prayer, Vishnu Thakur says, is addressed for Vasudev, who is present as Super Soul. Okay, next. Text number 34.
My Lord, you are the origin of the creation by virtue of the lotus flower which sprouts from your navel. You are the supreme controller of the senses and the sense objects, and you are also the all pervading Vasudev. You are most peaceful, and because of your self illuminated existence, you are not disturbed by the six kinds of transformations.
Okay. So, my bad. Super Soul is Super Soul. What does Vasudev, Anirudh, Pradyumna, and Sankarshan represents? You can write it down. Chitta is represented by Vasudev. This is a very beautiful topic, little technical. I'll not get into details, I'll just introduce this. If you remember Mother Yashoda's prayers also, she would often pray to them for protection for Lord Krishna, like that. We'll see that. In other words, anything and everything in this creation is made up of Chaturvyuha. Everything is made of this Chaturvyuha. So Chitta is represented as the presiding deity of Chitta is Vasudev. Mind, presiding deity for mind is Aniruddha. Presiding deity for intelligence is Pradyumna. And presiding deity for ego is Sankarshan. Okay, these are the presiding deities. All right, text number 35.
My dear Lord, you are the origin of the subtle material ingredients, the master of all integrations as well as the master of all disintegrations, the predominating deity named Sankarshan, and the master of all intelligence known as the predominating deity Pradyumna. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
So this is called as what we're reading now is called as Rudra Gita. Just 1 second. Papa writes a beautiful point. Why did Lord Shiva start his Rudra Gita by offering prayers to Chaturvyuha? I'm just looking for that line. Hmm. Prabhupada writes in the first paragraph, fourth line, as such, the Supreme Personality Godhead, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, is the origin of the material senses, sense objects. Since Lord Shiva considers himself to be one of the products, his senses are under the control of the Supreme Creator. The Lord is known as Rishikesha. As such, he can control our senses. So like this, so Lord Shiva does not desire to be misled by the material senses, but to engage always in the prayer service of the Lord. Therefore, he started Rudra Gita by offering prayers to the Lord like this. Text number 35. The prayer is offered the predominating deity named Sankarshan and the master of all intelligence, known as Pradyumna. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. So text 35 to 38, Lord Shiva will offer his prayers to Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. Okay, how do I go? I will just read it. We'll have to a little bit. Getting into technicalities will take time then. Okay, continue. Text number 36.
My lord,
At least if you remember those four combination, Sankarshan refers to what, then you, at least high level, you'll understand. Please go ahead. Text number 36.
my lord, as the supreme directing deity known as Anuruddha, you are the master of the senses and the mind. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you again and again. You are known as Ananta as well as the Shankarshan because of your ability to destroy whole creation by blazing fire from your mouth.
So let's read a little bit in the purport, second paragraph. Start reading second paragraph.
Okay,
Lord Krishna, by his quadruple expansion,
Lord Krishna, by his quadruple expansion, Vasudev, Shankara son, Pradyumna, and Anuruddha is the Lord of psychic action, namely thinking, feeling, willing, and acting. Lord Shiva prays to Lord Anuruddha as the sun god, who is controlling deity of external material element, which are constitute the construction of material body. According
okay, those are details. So that's the idea. So in other words, the first clue for all of us, we'll look into details later on, is about how this Chaturvya expansion of the Lord actually consists of everything in the material creation. And those who get into technicalities of it, so how they begin to see creation manifesting or appearing in this form. So they see, when they see now, they will be seeing everything in relation to the Lord. When they get this clarity on this, then they begin to see different forms of Lord Vishnu in this creation. This represents this particular deity. That's the whole idea. It's functional. And then they can pray to that. Mind is agitated, so pray to this particular deity. Now, Prabhupada made it very simple. He doesn't go too much in details here. Prabhupada says, well, the source is Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan. Prabhupada will quote ahead. So you chant Hare Krishna, at least this much you do, things will be taken care. And in fact, Lord Shiva later on in the prayers will say, my dear Lord, there's so many names, there's so many ways to approach you. May my chanting of mantra reveal everything. The Prabhupada says, so here Lord Shiva is praying to the Lord. Just by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, may everything in the material world and spiritual world be revealed. So those who don't have that, desire to get into all those technicalities, जिसका interest जा सकते हैं, otherwise chant attentively Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's a goal. तुमने अपना इंटेलिजेंस यहाँ डाल दिया, बट जपा के टाइम तुम सो रहे हो. डोंट से प्रभु जी मेरे को बहुत स्पेशल स्पिरिचुअल इंटेलिजेंस है, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है विषय में जाने का. करो, पर जपा में जागते रहो. पर जपा में सो रहे हो और फिर बाकी से बता रहे हो मुझे वासुदेव नजर आए, मुझे अनिरुद्ध नजर आए, उसका फायदा नहीं होगा. दैट विल नॉट, यू आर ऑफ ट्रैक देयर. ओके, उतना ध्यान रखना. यू विल मीट डिवोटीज, पर्टिकुलरली और क्या नाम था मायापुर गुरुकुल के महाराज का, His Holiness Bhakti Vidya Purna Maharaj. This was his favorite subject. He will teach this primarily in Gurukul. So if you will meet any Gurukul, graduate, तुम्हें वो अच्छा खासा इस पे कमेंट्री दे सकते हैं चीज़ों पे. So end goal is वो सब ठीक है. I would often have discussion with many of the students. End goal अपना क्या होता था? मैं कहता तुम्हें जितना पता है ठीक है. End goal में जपा में जागते रहना है. So they will count on that. So that's a challenge we used to keep. Okay. Next, text number 37. Continue reading. किस पे है माइक? पढ़ो ना. तुम्हें
My
मोबाइल
lord.
पे नहीं है क्या? तुम्हें वेदावेश भेजा है ना?
My lord, own Anirudh, you are the authority by which the doors of higher planetary system and liberation are opened. You are always within the pure heart of the living entity. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you You are the possessor of semen, which is like gold, and thus in the form of fire, you help the Vedic sacrifices, beginning with Chaturhotra. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you.
All right, next. Quick.
My lord, you are the provider of the Pitrulokes as well as all the demigods. You are the predominating deity of the moon and the master of all three Vedas. I offer my respectful obeisance unto you because you are the original source of satisfaction for all living entities.
Everything is included. Text number 39.
My dear Lord, you are the gigantic universal form
ये माइक
which
के तीन चार
contains.
लोग के बीच में घूम रहा है क्या? ये माइक यहाँ जाता है फिर वहां जाता है फिर यहाँ क्या चल रहा है पीछे पीछे यहाँ तक कुछ माइक क्यों नहीं आ रहा? चलो.
You are the gigantic universal form which contains all the individual bodies of the living entities. You are the maintainer of the three worlds, and as such, you maintain the mind, senses, body, and the air of life within them. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
Text 40.
My dear Lord, by expanding your transcendental vibrations, you reveal the actual meaning of everything. You are the all pervading sky within and without. You are the ultimate goal of pious activities executed both within this world, within this material world, and beyond it. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto you.
So Prabhupada dedicates this purport to the chanting again. Attentive chanting. Very beautiful. Read the first paragraph, the purport, please. Mike.
Vedic evidence is called Sabda Brahma. There are many things which are beyond the perception of our imperfect senses. Yet the authoritative evidence of sound vibration is perfect. The Vedas are known as Shabda Brahma because evidence taken from the Vedas constitutes the ultimate understanding. This is called Shabda Brahma or the Vedas, represents the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, the real essence of Shabda Brahma is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. By vibrating this transcendental sound, the meaning of everything, both material and spiritual, is revealed. This Hare Krishna is non different from the personality of Godhead. The meaning of everything is received through the air through sound vibration. The vibration may be material or spiritual, but without sound vibration, no one can understand the meaning of anything.
That's it. Now go to the 2 paragraphs ahead. Lord Shiva is therefore praying.
That's it. Okay. Lord Shiva is therefore praying to personality of Godhead to be kind to us, so that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, we can understand everything in both the material and spiritual worlds. The word amusmai. The word amusmai.
That's the secondary point. But the point here is this is why Lord Shiva is praying to the Supreme Personality God. That's the point I was making. Let through by chanting everything be attained. All right, text number 41. Read.
My dear Lord, you are the viewer of the results of pious activities. You are inclination, disinclination, and their resultant activities. You are the cause of miserable condition of life caused by irreligion, and therefore you are death. I offer you my respectful obeisances.
So, Lord Shiva, we say Vaishnava Nam Yathashambhu. He is the best of the devotee. So, he should be the devotee of whom? Vishnu or Krishna? Huh? So, then why is he praying to Lord Vishnu? He could have started the very first verse of Rudra Gita could be worship to prayer to Lord Krishna, na? I mean, if I ask you, offer your prayer, to whom will you offer prayer? कृष्णा ना तुम तो बोलोगे नहीं पहले हम इस विष्णु अवतार को करेंगे फिर उस विष्णु अवतार को सो आई लॉर्ड शिवा इज ऑफरिंग प्रेयर्स टू विष्णु व्हेन ही कैन ऑफर प्रेयर डायरेक्टली टू लॉर्ड कृष्णा व्हेन ही नोस कृष्णा वी जस्ट टॉक्ड अबाउट गोपेश्वर महादेव यू नो सो व्हाई इज ही डूइंग लाइक दिस बताओ इट्स वैलिड क्वेश्चन थिंक आउट
It's because Krishna is not very easy to understood that way, and Vedas are in Vedas mainly
Lord Vishnu
Like,
is
it's
glorified.
okay, Krishna not to be understood. Why is he offering prayer? I mean, he wants to teach our Prachetas to worship of Vishnu or Krishna.
It's Krishna.
So, I mean, he's not having discourse. He's just offering them mantra. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's, of course, this is just a thinking. I'm not expecting exact answer, but just thinking. Yes, Pajani, just give one or two try. It's a difficult question.
Maybe this shows that this quadruple is not different from Lord Shri Krishna.
It shows, okay. So the reason, thank you for that. The reason Acharya has mentioned is Lord Shiva being Vaishnavanam is very important, huh? Being the best of the devotee. Vaishnavanam yatha shambhu, before he can come to Krishna. He's going to come to Krishna in next verse. Let's read text number 42. Namaste Ashishamisha Manave Karanatmane Namo Dharmaya Brahate. And here is the Krishna. Krishna Akuntha Medase Purushaya Puranaya Sankhya Yogeshwaraya Cha. So now he offers prayer to Lord Krishna. Why? Because Lord Krishna, what form comes to your mind when you hear the word Krishna? Two-handed, harmless, and at times helpless. Yes? Two-handed form, which looks both harmless, no weapon, and at times helpless. If we bring directly Krishna, nobody can say he's Supreme Personality of Godhead. So to say and teach first about his energies, expansions, establishes his supreme authority. And then people will accept him in a two-handed form as Lord. But if he is brought directly into the picture, Manushana, not Manushana, what is that? 9.11? Avajananti Mahamudha. So foolish people don't understand me, they see me as a mere human. That is the reason. Is that clear? These are very important preaching points, how we should function. That's what is happening here. Translation, please. आगे यहाँ forward करो. पढ़ो.
My dear Lord, you are the topmost of all bestowers of all benedictions, the oldest and the supreme enjoyer amongst all enjoyers. You are the master of all the world's metaphysical philosophy, for you are the supreme cause of all causes, Lord Krishna. You are the greatest of all religious principles, the supreme mind, and you have a brain which is never checked by any condition. Therefore, I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you.
Okay. This is done. All right. This was text number 42, right? Yeah, let's go to text number 43. Translation, please.
My dear Lord, you are the supreme controller of all the worker, sense activities and result of sense activities, karma. Therefore, you are the controller of the body, mind and senses. You are also the supreme controller of egotism, known as Rudra. You are the source of knowledge and the activities of the Vedic injunctions.
So Prabhupada is giving a reason. Read the first few lines of the Prabhupada. Why Lord Shiva is praying? Again, same. Mother Yashoda would also pray to different deities, different Vishnus. So why Lord Shiva is praying like this?
Everyone acts under the dictation of the ego. Therefore, Lord Shiva is trying to purify false egotism through the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since Lord Shiva or Rudra is himself the controller of egotism, he indirectly wants to be purified by the mercy of the Lord, so that his real egotism can be awakened.
That's the idea, just to purify his ego. Therefore, he's praying to the presiding deity of ego, like this. So this is where he offers prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Controller and the Supreme Master. That is being sorted out. Now in text 44 to 52, which I believe we should take it tomorrow because it's a big chapter. We'll continue the prayers tomorrow. So I'll give you a quick synopsis of what's going to happen ahead. So from text number 44 to 52, so now so far Lord Shiva has established Supreme Personality Godhead to be the Supreme Controller. But the question remains, does this Supreme Controller has a form or not? And many of the worshippers of Lord Shiva themselves are Mayavadis, isn't it? So here, now Lord Shiva will talk and clarify that yes, Lord has a form and I want to take darshan of the Lord of the form. The text number 44 to 52, his prayer is, he's praying to have darshan of the Lord and also the opportunity to serve the Lord's glorious form. That is text number 44 to 52. Then text number 53 to 59. I have identified the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna I concluded with. Second, I'm now praying for having darshan of the Lord and to serve the form of the Lord. Now the next thing is, how can I get the opportunity to serve the Lord? And that is being addressed from text number 53 to 59. So the opportunity to service to the Lord comes from bhakti. But how do I get access to bhakti? Bhakti comes by the mercy of devotees. So that has been clarified from text number 53 to 59. Devotional service, bhakti is the topmost, and one can attain it through the mercy of devotees. This is all Rudra Gita. And the last part of Rudra Gita is verses 60 to 68, where now he'll talk about the relationship of the Lord and his energies, time, everything. So that's the last part of it, as far as I remember. I'm just quickly checking out. Any other segment after that? Yeah. And these are the 1, 2, 3, 4 segments of his prayers. That concludes, yeah. These are 79 verses in this chapter, and the prayers ends at 68. So 4 parts of the prayers of Lord Shiva, and this is called as Rudra Gita. So started from verse number 31, if I'm correct, 32 to 33. So 33 to 68. So which means around 35 verses are part of your Rudra Gita, shortest Gita. Rudra Gita is also big. All right, so I'll pause here if anyone has any thoughts. So we answered the third question. Why did Lord Shiva appear to Prachetas? We also addressed the point that I made. Lord Shiva loves all the devotees, and all the devotees of Krishna also have the highest regard for Lord Shiva. The devotees of Lord Krishna has the highest regard for Lord Shiva. And I gave you 5 reasons for it. Why, we devotees have the highest regard for Lord Shiva as the best of the devotee. So that we talked about, and after that we discussed about the Rudra Gita, the first segment of Rudra Gita, and there I raised the question, why Lord Shiva is, if he is a devotee of Lord Krishna, why is he speaking about his expansions? Why not Krishna directly? And the answer was, if we introduce Krishna directly, then Krishna would appear harmless and helpless. How this young boy could be the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Therefore, Lord Shiva's teaching, he's the best. So he's teaching what is the order of offering prayers. So he's teaching first the expansion of the Lord, so we understand the greatness, and then finally concludes. Therefore, Prabhupada repeatedly said, before you get into 10th canto, read systematically from 1st canto to 9th canto, so you understand about the expansions, different forms of the Lord, and when greatness is established. So even if we look at Krishna as two-handed playing a flute without any weapon or anything, we would not see him alone, we'd see him along with all his expansions. So our darshan in 10th canto would not be of Krishna standing by himself. The darshan would include of all his expansion and avatars. So then we'll be able to approach and respect him. Otherwise, 10th canto will begin a mundane novel. So that's the whole idea. Okay, we'll pause here. Thank you for kind attention. So tomorrow, let's aspire to complete this chapter. the longest chapter, and we'll take it forward next week then. Jaguru Srila Prabhupada ki. Today is what, Thursday? Thursday, right? So tomorrow is the last class, and next week we'll continue. And yeah, I'm not there 2 days next week, 11th and 12th. So you can schedule accordingly. Hare Krishna.